Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of We Live Fantasy NASCAR Draftkings Breakdown. Today is going to be the trucks, short, sweet, simple, easy for you, since it's a little time crunch here before the race starts tonight. Kind of sad I'm not going to be able to bet on Zane Smith next week with no race. This is the final race of the year for the truck series. 150 laps at Phoenix. Short race. I don't think, in my brain, I don't see too much strategy kind of being played out in a short race like this. I think the championship guys are going to need 4 tires, and I think that they're going to have to get up there, stay up there all day. A short race. I ran a race on NASCAR Heat at Phoenix, 150 laps, and I tell you, it took me like under an hour to run, which was crazy. To me, but Phoenix, hell of a track. First time that it's hosted a championship event. Very excited for this one, Tyler. The last time that we had a NASCAR Phoenix race, you took down some serious money, life-changing money in Phoenix. So I'm so excited to do this breakdown with you for Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. It's going to be exciting. Kind of sad that it's coming to an end, but we do have some big things coming in the off season for you for NASCAR DFS. So stay tuned for that. And during the off season, we're going to be doing a whole breakdown of the 2020 year and what we can learn and how we can do better going into next year and really change the game for We Live Fantasy and NASCAR DFS. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be back at Phoenix. Like you said, it's bittersweet. It is the last race of the season, which means we can't bet on our boys till February next year. But I am glad to be back at Phoenix. Wish I was out there in person, but unfortunately things happen. Looking at the slates this weekend, I'm excited. I like the way we're stacking up. I see some great values across the board, and even starting off in the trucks. They have great lobbies this week. I mean, 20K to first for the last week. Fantastic. We love to see that.
Yeah.
And let's get a chunk of it.
Yeah.
I do agree. I think that strategy is going to be limited for at least the championship 4. 4 tires is going to be where it's at. But I do see a decent amount of people, probably 5 to 6, maybe 8, playing a 2-tire strategy a couple times here to gain track position and get in the way of the leaders. But I think ultimately in the end, it's going to be one of the guys that's in championship 4 to take the top. With that being said, with that, history says it. History says it.
And you think about it, these are, maybe minus Austin Hill and minus Matt Crafton. But I mean, these are the guys, right? I mean, these are the cream of the crop, your top 4 guys going for the championship. And every video we've done, we've talked about them and how you got to play them. And I mean, it doesn't matter. These 4 guys at all the tracks this year have been the guys. Like I said, minus Austin Hill and, a few others. But, I mean, these are the great guys. So we have 3 GMS trucks and 1 Thor Sport truck. And the pricing is interesting because the past couple years, when we get to the Final 4 in the championship with this format, it seems that the guys that are in the championship are always the top 4 priced guys. But this week's a little different, and leading off at $11,000 is Sheldon Creed, who proves time and time again that he belongs in this sport and runs really, really well. How do you not like Sheldon Creed? Out of the 4 guys, I think Zane Smith or Brett Moffitt's going to get this thing, but I'm not counting out Sheldon Creed because every time I do it, he is out there driving his balls off and getting her done out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, as far as a lineup standpoint goes, I think you need at least 2 of the 4 to win a lobby.
Right.
If you take 3, it can be done, but you're really having to dive on a couple picks, and I just don't see that getting you far enough up the leaderboard. Along with that, the Sheldon Creed, or I'm sorry, you said Moffitt and Smith are your favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Moffitt's been there, done that. He's been in this situation. He's been in the championship 4, and he's went out there and proven that he can do it. So I don't hate that at all. I think Sheldon Creed has just been lightning fast no matter really where we've been this year.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's proved that he deserves to be there.
He
I
deserves
think,
this $11,000. That's for sure. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. He's worth the price. I think I'm more of a Creed Smith are my two favorites for this week, especially for build purposes. But I can make an argument for all four of them. I mean, Enfinger
yeah,
has done well here in the past. He just
yeah.
won last week. He's good at short tracks, apparently. I mean, this is a new thing, really. But he's proved himself. I mean, this year he has come out. He has ran well at short tracks. So I can make an argument for all four of them. And then I'll play all four of them. I'm going to have them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, I think you have to be, if you hone in on a guy you're really feeling, um, then go with your gut there because you can't go wrong with any of these four guys. Moffitt at 10-7. I really like Brett Moffitt. I like the experience level that he's bringing into this. He's running all three series.
Yep.
And he's run full seasons before. He's a NASCAR Gander Outdoor Truck Series champion a few years back ago, so he knows the feel. The one thing that has me kind of worried is that when you look at short tracks this year in the trucks, Thor Sport at Richmond absolutely spanked their asses. Similar bank, it's not the same track. Similar banking though, similar kind of package that you would unload and run.
Same
And
pace.
yeah,
Same
and
pace.
the same kind of it's in the same realm. Like when we're searching comparable tracks, you have to consider Richmond in there.
Yep.
And they looked so damn good there. That it's hard for me not to have that in the back of my brain. And when you look at him being the cheapest of the championship four, the price might drive his ownership up a little bit because he's in the final four, but the starting position might negate that in case anything happens to him. He's the underdog here, and he's got underdog pricing, and I think he's going to have a good package here. And I mean, you look at that Martinsville race last week; those guys weren't holding anything back, just like we thought.
Nope.
So, Creed, Moffitt, Zane Smith. I want to touch on Zane Smith. If any of you watched the race last week on pit road, when they were interviewing, he said, "I love Phoenix. Phoenix sets up for me. He's a West Coast guy. He's raced there before in other series. Listen, my boy is gonna go get her done."
Fourth here last year in the Phoenix race in Xfinity. Fourth, the Junior 8 car.
He loves this track. The only thing about Zane Smith is all of the guys in the championship four with him have more experience, but they've had more experience all year. And guess what? Zane Smith's been driving and wheeling and dealing and absolutely crushing it. I love one last time. You hop on the Zane Smith train with me because
until next year.
Until Daytona. But I mean, I tell you, for him to do what he did this year with no practice, no qualifying, running tracks he's never ran before, going out there and doing what he's doing is unbelievable.
It is.
And if you don't think it's hard, go to Forza, go on NASCAR Heat, or go to iRacing. Don't do any practice. Don't do any qualifying, and just jump into a lobby and go race and tell me how easy it is to do. And then you multiply that by real life scenarios and running against real people, real equipment, real time. I tell you, he's going to be so good moving into the future. Kid is so bright and just killer. I mean, he's got the killer instinct. He's got the raw speed. It's like Kyle Larson. It's almost like they have to tell him to tone it back a little bit, like bring it back.
Well, that's Creed too. That's Creed the same way. They got to tell him to slow down.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. I love that in NASCAR drivers because it's hard to teach people to go faster. It's easier to tell them to rein it in.
That's right.
Right. Interesting between Moffitt and Creed and Zane Smith, the next playoff driver, is Chandler Smith and Sam Mayer. Sam Mayer laid a dud on us at Martinsville. Tough track going there for your first time. We talked about that. Chandler Smith at starting 21st, do you, in any realm of your life, see you clicking Chandler Smith or Sam Mayer over Zane Smith, over Austin Hill, over these guys kind of all above that $9,500 range?
I don't see myself clicking them over them. I see myself clicking Chandler Smith with them.
Okay. So like a Smith Smith.
Yes.
Okay.
A Smith and Smith, yes.
Okay.
The reason why is because I watched the truck race last year here, and Chandler Smith was in the 46 truck for KBM at that time.
Okay.
And he was the third fastest truck all day long.
Okay.
It was his rookie start there. He ran very, very well. Like I said, he paced with the leaders, didn't quite lead any laps. But being in this 51 truck this year, which was the truck that Brandon Jones drove last year here and finished second to Friesen, I think starting 21st at 10-4, you got to take some shots because KBM trucks just find ways to lead laps at this track. It doesn't matter who's in the truck. You go back the last 6 years and anyone leads laps here. It doesn't matter. It could have been Todd Gilliland, Brandon Jones, Kyle Busch, Burton. It doesn't matter. They've led laps. So I like Chandler Smith. Mayer did screw us pretty bad last week. And I see no reason really to take him this week. I watched him here last year. Again, he was in not as good of equipment, but he ran about 20th all day. So I'm afraid to click him at 10,000 because that's telling me he's got to lead laps, and I just do not see it happening.
Yeah, and I'd rather have Smith.
I'd rather have Smith, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, that's where I'm at with that. And it's kind of the same thing for Austin Hill. Austin Hill's a little more affordable and obviously a better driver, I would say, than Sam Mayer at this particular moment.
Little chip on the shoulder, missing the Final Four, too.
Yeah, so, but if you go back and you look at short tracks and you look at last year here, I mean, it isn't him. It isn't him. Yeah, it isn't him. And that's not bad. I mean, you put him on a 1.5 mile track and you better be in every fucking lineup you have.
Right.
But at short tracks, even starting 17th at 9,600, you're telling me he's got to finish top 5. And I don't think that. I'd rather pay down for Lupton starting 32nd and hope for an 18th.
Right. So when the 2021 playbook comes out for our breakdown of the Truck Series season, it'll say an asterisk next to Austin Hill. Anything 1.01 miles or bigger, you start Austin Hill.
Austin Hill.
A little bit of a little nugget that we're going to give you moving in there. And you're so right about Dylan Lupton. He's another young guy who keeps proving himself over and over again that he belongs in the Truck Series. So,
he's been around for a while, actually. He's not all that young.
Yeah, he deserves a full-time ride, though, is what I mean.
Right.
He really does. I mean, he's really good.
Last year he was here in I think it was DGR Crosley equipment, and that was not the same DGR Crosley they have this year. They've got better equipment this year.
Yeah, and they have a lot more backing from Ford with Haley Deegan coming over there, and Todd and the Dillon family has been Ford. They are blue ovals through and through his whole career.
But Lupton ran like 20th last year, and he was actually up into the top 15 for a while, and I think strategies kind of hurt him. But listen, if you give me an 18th, like 15th to 18th out of Lupton at the start 32nd, that's worth 9,400 to me. I'm in.
Yeah, and let me build this real quick and see what it leaves us with. A Lupton Smith leaves you with 6,800. You can make that work, but try to play with that and see how it comes up and see what feels comfortable for you. That brings us to Grant Infinger at 9,200, a championship contender at 9,200. Touched on it before. Starting position and price might equal itself out in exposure. I think everyone's going to be going GMS, and everyone's going to be waving the GMS flag. And I'm telling you, I'm going to have some Infinger. I have some Infinger. I have an Infinger lineup with max place differential as well, just in case those other guys get frisky or just don't live up to what they're all expecting themselves to do, and Infinger just goes crazy. Do you believe, like me, that he's going to be the lowest owned championship 4 contender?
Yeah, by far. It's crazy to think that he's got just a hair less experience than Brett Moffitt, and people are going to call him an underdog, but he is.
He is.
So yeah, I do think that'll help on the exposure side. I'm there. I'm all over them. I mean,
Yeah.
at the price tag, and history says too at this track that if you're going to start in the lead, you're usually going to lead the first, 40 laps or until the first caution. So if he leads 40 and finishes top 5 at 9,200, I'm good with it.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but just like last week, Zane Smith's gonna dive bomb the shit out of one, and he's gonna
That's fine.
he's
That's
boy,
fine.
we called that so bad. He
Yeah,
fucking
that's
drove that son of a bitch down there in the one at Martinsville so hard. I loved it so much. I was grinning ear to ear.
It was great. It was great. And next on the list is Crafton. I mean,
Yeah,
if anyone reads, if anyone reads my write-ups or has listened to any of the shit that we talk on here, you got to have Crafton. You got to have 5 to 10 Crafton lineups every week, because if you don't, that's going to be the week he ends up in the winning lineup, and you're going to wish you just clicked him once or twice.
Yeah.
So I'm there. He did very well here last year. He ran really good, like all day long, top 5 truck, fastest laps.
Yeah.
Would have led laps if Brandon Jones was not in the field, which he's not now. So I like Crafton, especially at 9,000. That's right where he always is. Click away if you can make it work.
Yeah, and you can make some sexy Crafton lineups with some of the championship contenders in them too. They might not give you the best place differential on those lineups, but you know they're going to be guys running near the top 10.
You're going to get 5 top 10 guys. Let's go for it.
Okay, so here is my bust of the week. My bust of the week is Christian Eckes.
I'm in.
I don't see it. I don't. I could eat these words and he could go out there and be KBM on us. I'm not feeling it at all with Christian Eckes this week. I don't see the motivation. I don't see him moving up to Xfinity next year. I think he's just going to be laying in the doldrums and just get you a rough top 10 this week. The only way he's going to beat any of the guys that we've talked about before is if something happens to him. Because I'm looking at guys like Sauter, Gilliland, Kraus, Gray, Hocevar, Icy, all those guys passing him this week. Putting him around 10th, and I'm not liking it. He's my biggest bust of the week this week.
I'm right there, so we can move on.
All right, Friesen, a guy who's going to pass him, and has great track history here. If there's a horse for the course, that's that. I mean, Friesen. We talked about it last week too. Him and Sauter are probably the best short track drivers in this field, and goddamn Sauter last week. He's
what do you mean last week? All year.
Yeah,
last week, Texas the week before, the whole fucking year. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're so right. And I know better. But goddamn it was the right call. He had the best truck last week. Maybe not.
Dude, he was the right call in Texas until he took out him and Friesen with 23 to go, dude.
Yeah. Friesen, I really like short track guy, short track mentality. He doesn't give a fuck about those guys running for a championship. He wants to go win, and that's the kind of mentality you need.
Yes, and you know what? He has been running a lot better the past couple weeks. They seem to have got a grip on the new manufacturer nose. So I'm there. Yeah, I'm there. I'm all over him. I got more than I probably should have, but I'm okay with it. I wasn't gonna have too many, but then after a long lost, search of my soul last night, I decided to add a few.
Tyler Ankrum starting 10th is juicy, but I think I'd rather have Todd Gilliland.
Yeah, I'm paying down on that. I maybe have like 4 or 5 Ankrum. He's just like Sauter, dude. He can't finish.
Yeah.
So
he's had really bad luck. Look for Tyler Ankrum to have a really good rebound year next year. He might be one of those guys who is really struggling with this new weekend scheduling and setup. He made the switch to GMS. It was a new team. I'm not making excuses for him because Zane Smith and some guys aren't having issues at all with it. But he might be one of those guys like Kyle Busch that just needs the reps, and he doesn't use practice to come up with a whole setup for the car. He just needs it to get the feel that he needs to run well. And I'd rather have Gilliland and save money. It's not a lot of money, but you know what? You can save money and get Todd Gilliland. You can save money and get Sauter. You can get money and get Spencer Davis, Tanner Gray, and a lot of these guys down here, which are super juicy. And
You skipped one there. Why'd you skip that one?
Robbie Lyons,
No.
Ben Rhodes.
Yeah, Ben Rose. What's wrong with Rose, man?
Listen, the starting spot scares me, but how he ran at Richmond and Martinsville does not.
Yeah, I mean, and if you watch the race here last year, he started like malfunctions. Hold on.
Earthquake.
If you watch the race last year here, he started like 4th or 5th, and he drove up to lead within like 2 laps and led the first, like, I don't know, few ever how many laps. He was the one outlier to the whole lead the first 40 laps thing. So
listen, at $8,000, I don't see why not.
Just so you know too, he was in the winning lineup at Richmond, and he was in the winning lineup at Dover.
Well, Thor Sport kicked fucking ass at Richmond.
Well,
they were 1, 2, 3, and probably would have been 4, and if Johnny Sauter didn't do 2020 things.
That's right. So from Friesen, Gilliland, Rhodes, and Sauter, if you could fit 3 of those in a lineup, that lineup is probably going to do very well.
Okay, so if you had to rank those guys, where are you ranking them?
Well, I'd love to put Sauter first, but because he wrecks every week, I'm going to have to put him last. Man, it's a toss-up, dude.
Let's put Ankrum last.
I didn't even include Ankrum in that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I went Friesen, Gilliland, Rhodes, Sauter.
Okay.
So of those 4, I think this year history would say Rhodes.
Right.
Rhodes is the best. Then I would say Friesen historically lately, but Gilliland has shown at Gateway, Richmond, and Phoenix here last year that he could run top 10. So, I mean, I realistically probably have the same amount of all 4 guys.
Okay.
Like I made sure to spread to all 4 of these guys because if you can get 3 of the 4 or 2 of the 4 in a lineup and build around that, it's a beautiful lineup.
Yeah, Rhodes could be your low-owned, unseen lap leader come out of nowhere if the 4 championship guys aren't holding it down and battling each other. Right. I like that call a lot. Robbie Lyons starting 33rd. I'm just going to tell you right now, buyer beware on Robbie Lyons. He does have some finishes in the 20s, so he could definitely get you some place differential there. But he's also got a big red flag next to him because you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't ran this year, so we don't really know at all what we're going to get out of him. Or has he? Hold on.
Yeah, he ran.
Oh, he ran. Yeah. I was thinking somebody else. No, he did, but he hasn't run any short tracks. That's what it was. He hasn't run any short tracks this year. So, and if you look at it, dude, he finishes 26th to 20th. So, okay, let's say starting 33rd, he finishes 20th.
Right.
That's like 35 points.
Right.
I would rather pay another $200 for Sauter to hopefully finish in the top 5 and get 45 points.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
I agree. Derek Kraus, our boy. I'm going back to the well one more time with Derek Kraus. The only thing that scares me is the starting position, but the good news is he has ran here in other classes. They're not the truck series, but he has ran here before. Listen, just be ready for him to finish 13th, but he can also be sneaky. Spencer Davis has proven to us that he is a race car driver. And the fact that he costs less than Robbie Lyons is a big win if you know what the fuck you're doing. So Spencer Davis, is he in the 11 truck?
He is in the 11 truck. That's his truck. He's an owner driver.
Cool. I love Spencer Davis at 7,300. I love Tanner Gray at 7,100. I love Hocevar at 69.
Hold on. Let's stop. Before we go any further, let's stop at Hocevar.
Okay.
Davis, Gray, great picks. Great picks. Gray did very well at Martinsville this year. Bristol finished 3rd. Starting 23rd. He is a way better than 23rd truck. Same as Davis goes. You could play both those in the same lineup. I wouldn't even hate it. Hocevar. Here's the deal with Hocevar. If you look at history this year, Hocevar at short tracks does not have better than a top 15 finish. He does not have a better than top 15 finish at short tracks.
Whoa.
Okay, so with that being said, he also ran this race last year in the Timmy Hill truck, the 56, and he finished in the mid-20s. So I'm concerned. I originally was going to go there. After digging in deeper, I decided I am not going to be going Josefar. It scares me, especially starting 19th. If it had a 3 in front of it, I'd be all over it, because if he got 18th or 19th, then I'd be happy. But I have a feeling he's going to finish about where he starts, which made me pivot to Rafael Lazard.
All right.
And the reason why is because he has proven that he could finish in the top 10 at short tracks. He's done it multiple times this year. He was in the winning lineup at Gateway, which is also a very similar paced track.
All right. I like it.
So that's where I'm at with that. Not saying don't take Josefar, just know.
Well, I think watching the race last week, I think a lot of the sheeple will run to the bank for Josefar.
Good.
You know, because if you watched, man, it was because of strategy, but you know what? He was up there and running pretty good. So let him run to the bank, because I'm with you. I can live with that.
I really like Lazard.
KBM, baby.
Yeah. But you know what? Lazard is if you know how you always do the whole who's the one person I'm taking that you shouldn't take?
Yeah.
That's probably Lazard.
Okay.
If I had to pick one person, it's probably Lazard this week. But you should still take him.
Right.
You really should.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with Timmy Hill too. Or is it Tyler this week? Tyler.
I have a concern for the two following people, Tyler Hill and Truex. Again, if you go back and you look at history this year, it just does not look good at short tracks for either of them. They finished right about where they're starting.
Okay.
Tyler Hill does have one outlier there. I had it wrote down, and I don't have it in front of me. He did have one top 15 at a short track earlier this year. I can't remember which one it was.
Okay.
So there is a potential there. But again, I think I'd rather pay up for Lazard, or I'd pay down even for, I hate to say this, Bane.
Hey, he's a guy with a lot of experience at Phoenix.
He's in the best niche truck this weekend. So,
but I tell you, if you've been burned by Bane, I promise you're not alone. Raise your hand if you've been burned by Bane.
Do something.
All right, good. See, you're not alone. Welcome to Bane Haters Anonymous.
Yeah, but we're not anonymous.
Jeez Louise. Our boy Austin Wayne Self, is he just starting too close to the front for you?
Yeah, I think so. I took a couple just because I can't not take a couple. Yeah. So I did. I fit him in. I did. I fit him in, but
him and Dylan Bone, they're just starting too close to the front for me.
And you know what? That's a shame, because Bone last week ran so great, and I was on him last week. And I was hoping that maybe he wouldn't run that good last week so I could get him this week, because he is really good here as well. But starting 11th, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary for sure.
It is. I'd rather take Fogelman, man. He's the next option if you got to go this low.
Okay. Fogelman. I like it. Let me write that down.
Listen, Tyler Young, owner of that truck, sick dude. Just saying. Sick dude. The equipment's not the greatest in the world. They are an underfunded team, but he's a better than 28th place truck, and he's shown that this year on short tracks. I went back and I looked, and he's had his top 15 finishes or near the top 15 were all short track races. I mean, give me a 15th to 18th, and that's all I need. So, and I think he can do it.
Right. What about Rayum?
Starting park, can't do it.
Okay. Cram.
Too close to the front. That's where he's going to finish.
Anderson. Fun fact about Anderson. Runs well the last race of the season. He's a car owner as well. If you go back and look at Homestead, it could just be a Homestead thing, but I noticed that he runs well the last race of the year. He does it for his team, does it for the money going into the offseason to keep Jordan Anderson afloat, build some new trucks, and get ready to show up to Daytona. I'm throwing some darts at Jordan Anderson, thinking that he's got a little bit of motivation going into the offseason and wants to get some money for his team. And I really like Spencer Boyd. I don't know why. He's starting 18th, scares the crap out of me, but he's a regular driver. He's got a pit crew. He's not a start and park guy. $4,900 for a guy that's top 20 some odd in points, runs every week. I'm taking my chances on Spencer Boyd to try to get a 5 balanced lineup above him.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what you need. As far as Anderson goes, I didn't even look at him. I overlooked him the entire time until you said that, so I'm gonna have to relook into that. Maybe take a couple of Anderson. I was all over Boyd.
Don't lock him into every lineup you have, but take some stabs on him with a starting 20th. Another guy that runs every week and has a pit crew, and the only reason it popped is because I just looked at the final races just to kind of see who kind of shows up last final races, and he kept popping up. It could be a Homestead thing, though.
I'm not against it. I'm a Jordan Anderson truther. I take him every Pocono race, and I take him at every Richmond race because he seems to show up, and he does. And you know what? If this is the case, then great. Like I said, I'll look into that. I don't hate that. Spencer Boyd seems like a good play. Another Tyler Young truck.
Supreme
here's
value.
the deal. Here's extreme value. Here's the deal. If he finishes 18th, great. If he finishes 15th, perfect.
Yeah.
Somehow luck into anything better than that, we're taking home the fucking lobby because he really is at $4,900. He's a steal, and he allows you to stack the top. He allows you to get 5 top 10 drivers in your lineup, and that's supreme. So do it. Don't do it a lot, but do it, and then let us know how well you did because I'm telling you that's gonna.
Yeah, let us know because you will not be alone either because I will have Spencer Boyd in my lineups. And I'm going Zane Smith, baby. I think
if Spencer Boyd's only 3% owned, it was all us.
Yeah. Influence the market, baby. Listen, if you guys have any questions about the trucks before they fire up their green flag tonight for the last time, please reach out. Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter will help you with everything we can. We can coach you, point you in the right direction. But ultimately, remember, you click the button and you set the lineup. We just give you all the info and everything we could need. Make sure you head over to WeLiveFantasy.com, read Tyler's write-up for Xfinity, trucks, and Cup for this weekend. And if there's anyone you want to listen to at Phoenix, it's that guy right there. I promise you that. Check out those screenshots from our Throwback Thursday yesterday. Check out WeLiveFantasy.com. And hope you guys win some money tonight in the truck series. I'm going to be in the quarter jukebox and the dollar entry, and I will be throwing a dart at the big lobby as well.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm maxed out in the big lobby. I doubled up a lot of lineups because I want first and second. And actually, before we get off here, I had a member of message us yesterday and was asking for help on his low tier picks because I guess last week he struggled and a lot of his lower picks got wrecked out. So I did email him back this morning. Just so you guys know, if you do ask questions, we do respond. I emailed him back this morning. I sent him a personal breakdown of my favorite picks down low. And he was very thankful. So he's going to let us know how he does.
Yeah, cool.
If you guys need anything, shout at us. We will definitely help. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Good luck, guys. We will have an Xfinity and a Cup video to you on the YouTube page, so make sure you check that out later. You guys have a good one. Good luck. Go Zane Smith, baby. One more time.